Hello and welcome to episode 42 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and alongside me tonight, as always, one of the Burkham boys himself, Perry Burkham.
It is so humid here in the Midwest. I am just a walking sweat machine, but luckily I got my AC on. But it's funny that you texted me about the dehumidifier, because I was just about to text you like, oh man, it's so humid here.
Yeah, it's pretty gross here, but since we got that apartment, it's like a half basement apartment, if that you know what I'm talking about, where like you look out the window and it's sort of like chest height, but like you look outside and it's grass, you know, like really close. So we want to get want to pick up a dehumidifier to be prepared.
See, and you know, that's nice because honestly, like right now I have the AC off to record, you know.
Same.
But we have one upstairs in our second floor, but I'm in the basement, and it's still really cool. Like it always stays cool in the summer in the basement, which is one nice thing. So yeah, you just get a dehumidifier and you're set.
Yeah, no, my room's gross right now. Like you said, I have to turn off the AC too, and whew, I'm gonna be sweaty by the end of this podcast. That's for sure. Talking about all this Nintendo hotness.
Yeah, so let's talk about what we're gonna talk about this episode. For this is Talk Nintendo podcast. We talk about talk things.
We talk about talking games. Talk.
We're gonna. I guess we want to talk about the games that we're gonna talk about. Why not?
We'll get into those. We're gonna do the normal what we've been playing, and we'll just say it's very indie or Nindie heavy, I should say. Although we got a AAA. Yeah, I guess that's AAA thrown in there as well. You know, we've got the normal eShop and news, and then for the segment of the show, I guess, it's not really too much of a segment. It's just more some listener mail and some questions that we're going to field through there. And then I think we've got something special to tell them at the end, right? Or should we wait? I guess a tease on that?
Yeah, we're going to announce the next We Demand Wii game. That we are gonna, it's backlog edition, and we're gonna have everyone play. And I actually have 2 copies of the game that I'm gonna send out to listeners.
Ooh.
So we'll talk more about that at the end. But the idea is we're gonna send it to you, and then you're gonna play it, and you can email us back and talk about it, and then we will have it on our next show. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be what we're gonna aim to get those games out, and then we'll probably aim to talk about it, you know, sometime in early August, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Give some time for mail and whatnot. But enough of what we're going to do, and let's get into what we've been playing. And I actually finally got around to starting a game you talked about last week, and that is GoNNER. GoNNER. Oh my god, dude. This game is incredible.
Doesn't it just take you, I think, and we figured out something last week,
game changer, yeah.
I got like a second wind with the game, and I wasn't even like done with the, you know, but it was just like, anyway, yes.
Yeah, so I was on vacation this past week. I went up to Maine and enjoyed some nice weather, but while I was up there, I got to play some GoNNER, and my god, the first world song was stuck in my head the entire vacation, and it's sort of eerie. It's sort of an eerie song, but oh my god. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get too much into what GoNNER is because, you know, Perry went pretty in-depth last week of sort of what exactly the game is, but for me, I started off like, okay, I'm going to just try and get high scores, and it's funny, normally in these kinds of games, I'd rather just like, I want to get as far as I can, where this game, I was like, I want to just rack up as many points as I can, because...
Well, that's the point, right? Because, like, it's not really as far as you get.
Well, there is an end, I believe, right?
No, yeah, there is an end, but I mean, in everything, like, you're going for a high score.
Oh, no, for sure.
You know, like...
For sure, but
there
are definitely times when, like... I will sacrifice For instance, when you beat like each world, you sort of go into like a safe world, if you will, and you can like refill your hearts. And like if I've got a combo running and I've got like no hearts, I'll just say screw it, and I'll skip the hearts to keep the combo rolling. You know what I mean? Where like if I was just trying to get as far as I can, I would go, sort of heal up. But
yeah. Skip the hearts, or even skip. Sometimes like to keep the combo going. Do you ever skip the glyphs?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I try not to. You know what I mean, as best I can, but sometimes you just have to. And
right.
Well, I'll get into that in a second. So essentially, I started playing the game, and I was getting to like that first boss, which is like the 3 floating heads, and it was really tough. Like I would be able to beat it, but I'd usually die at least once, and then like
it's tough.
I would be like, oh my god, like I just want to get through here, and then like I would just get dominated in the second world. And I was like, man, how do you keep these combos alive when they're so spread out? And I was like, this is tough. But then I found the game changer. Now, the Sith is the most unbelievable weapon in it seriously makes it a totally brand new game.
Is it Sith or Scythe?
Sith, it might be Scythe. I say Sith.
I don't know. It looks like it's spelled Scythe, but yeah, anyway.
Scythe. It's probably Scythe. But regardless, the thing that death carries. Oh my god. So with the other weapons, you would have to like when you shoot enemies from afar, you have certain ammunition, and then like enemies, not every enemy, but most enemies or half enemies would drop like a refill to reload. Now, the problem with that is with the weapons, like some of the guns you're shooting from pretty far away, so you'd have to like cover some good ground to get to your refill. And for me, there'd be times when I'd be like completely out of ammo, and I'd be like, oh, all right, well, I guess I'm going to lose my combo here, unless if you got lucky and were able to jump on ahead. But with the Sith, like it's so close, you have to be up close and personal to actually attack the enemies. So you refill like nonstop, so you can just like continue to just abuse that like attack button and just wreck. And dude, the combos so they ramp up so fast.
Yes, and then you pair that with the shark fin.
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, like you said, like you have a weapon and then you have a special, and so the shark fin special is what I talked about last week. It's kind of like a machine gun, but it doesn't use any ammo, But it's like a, But then when you have, it's like, well, if you have the scythe, then it's like, well, how are you going to do that, right? Well, you just unleash a flurry of craziness, and you can just sweep the screen like back and forth, and you can kind of like levitate too.
Oh, you absolutely can. Yes.
Yeah, like you can kind of use it to get to cross places, and I don't know, sorry if you mentioned this just now, but you can't, like, you also get like a lift off of like when you're it reminded me a lot of Shovel Knight, of the Plague of Shadows.
Yeah, same exact
like
weapon.
that move in the yeah. When you move in the air and you kind of slash up. I mean, it's not to that extent where it's like a second jump, but you can kind of like pull yourself up to places with the scythe. Like it kind of, like instead of just hitting the boss, it kind of hit. I mean, not the boss, but the enemy. You hit them, and then it kind of pulls you up to where they're at a little bit. So you can kind of use it to get around the level.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, especially when in the earlier stages when the bird enemies, sometimes that you need to jump up to sort of lure them down so you can get them into your hit range.
Yeah.
But when you're in that flurry, like you said, you could sort of bounce off people going upwards and you could take them out really easily. And it's just so much fun to watch just all of those combos, all the glyphs adding up, and then eventually if you continue that combo going, all of a sudden the world will start changing colors and become very colorful, which is a pretty drastic change from like the very monotoned or monocolored, like, and then just with some blue and some red enemies. Now everything's like a rainbow swirl. And like when, oh my god, this game, man. So
does that change point values at all?
I think so.
Or does it just?
I think
it might.
Yeah, I think you start getting.
I think
more.
it even stays after you die.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, okay.
After you lose the combo, if you die, I think it
I
stays.
think
Yeah,
even
if
after you die, if you come back, it still stays.
yeah, I think it still stays. And then if you get another combo, you can keep building it off. You know what I mean? Pushing it
Right.
forward.
Right.
So
And not to spoil too much, but like it drastically changes like the third world.
yep.
I don't know if you ever saw. Yeah, it's cool.
So for me, which was when I first started playing this game and I was using the normal guns, I literally like maybe 1 in every 15 attempts would actually be a very good run, where I might see some color change, and like that was like oh my god, that was so satisfying and felt so good. But what was nice with the Sith, once you got that, like every run was at least solid. You know what I mean? I mean, like sure, you'd have a couple duds here and there, but for the most part, like especially with the shark fin, the first boss becomes like a joke. And then like then when we were talking,
the second boss is the absolute joke.
Even I mean honestly, all the bosses, once you sort of catch the gimmick with the Sith and the shark fin, become pretty manageable. But what was cool is now, before we were like in the second world, the enemies are really far spread apart. But with the Sith, like you fly, like just attacking and hitting enemies and bouncing off them, like your mobility goes through the roof, and it really, it feels so good. This game, like I said, it's a roguelike, so I know it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but But
it's a really nice platformer too, and action game.
Yeah, I really do think that it's definitely a game people should definitely check out if you can.
And it's freaking gorgeous, and everything about it.
Yeah, I really love the aesthetic.
It's a really cool game. Oh yeah, it's so cool. I love the. It's just amazing how the character they put into like the whale and death,
old Sally,
and then just old Sally, poor Sally. But yeah, fantastic game. And like I said, $10, like $9.99 it is a steal to me. It's just a steal of a deal.
Ooh, you heard it here first from Perry. Steal of a deal, baby.
It is. It sure is. But is that all you're gonna say?
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Right. I guess what was your high score? Like, what's your current high score?
Oh, I think it's still the last one that I sent you. It's like 15,000 something. Yeah, and you sent me a score and it was like 83,000 or something.
Yeah, you know what is the so pretty much.
Have you topped that?
No, I've gotten another like 80,000.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You know what it is?
I haven't played it because I haven't played my next game.
What happens is you really need to like. I got one of those crazy combos early on in the first world, and I carried it all the way to the third world without losing it. And that's like all of a sudden your points just start going through the roof. You know what I mean? Like they really ramp up.
It's so satisfying when you're maxed out on glyphs and you're just tearing through the worlds, getting maximum points for each enemy. That feeling is just fantastic.
And
it's so satisfying.
And you know what? I think, I definitely forgot to mention, but a feature I think really actually adds a lot, and it's sort of a smaller thing, but just how the music builds with the combo. So when you don't have a combo going, it's sort of quiet and slow, but as that combo goes, the music gets faster and louder and more intense, and to me, it really like adds that tension of like, God, I can't lose this combo right now.
Right.
Oh.
Right. It's
bravo.
Fantastic.
Great game.
Yeah. Yep. Honestly, one of my favorite games I've played this year. So.
Yep, for sure.
It's really good.
Now, what's this game that's been keeping you away from playing more GoNNER?
Well, it's so funny. We talked about this game last week too, and I don't really know exactly how I got back into it. Maybe our discussion, but I am finishing up. I still haven't finished it yet, but I am finishing up Fire Emblem Echoes.
Ooh.
Shadows of Valentia.
Now, where do you pick back up in this? Like, where do you leave off?
Oh, I was like at the beginning of Act 3, I think.
Okay.
Right where you kind of split off into your separate things.
Gotcha. Yeah,
or how you can control both.
That's a good point to pick back up, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's just I love Fire Emblem, and I've really come to really like all of the change. It's kind of like akin to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the changes, except for even more, but like the changes to this game. Just I love the not having to keep track of weapons, to have them break. It's so nice, and it's like nothing to do with, because you can still pick weapons for them to have. You know, like there's still strategy and like switching weapons, so it still has the element, but it's not so tedious all the time. You know, it's just one of those things where I didn't really notice it too much in Fire Emblem, and it's kind of a trait of Fire Emblem, right? Like,
yeah, the weapon triangle is it was surprising that they got rid of it for this, which, I mean, it makes sense because this game originally was released before the weapon triangle was introduced. So it makes sense that they're not installing it back in, but
and just to make sure, in case anyone's wondering, there are still weaknesses against different types of enemies. You know,
there's a lance that's like strong against Calvary. Yeah, the horses.
Yeah, and then like, you know, and then arrows to flying enemies, or it still has all those.
Well, it doesn't. So that doesn't. It's not as bad though, because I know in like previous ones, like I would never even consider flying like a Pegasus Knight into like anywhere near an archer, where in this game it's more forgiving.
Maybe I still know that the archers go directly for them, so it's still there, and like if they still do a lot of damage. But yeah, you're right, it's not as bad. But anyway, the changes, that being no weapons break, and then there's no relationship simulator. And,
no more waifus.
It just, I still don't really know what that means, but I mean, there is still relationships. You still talk to people. You can still talk to them and get story and develop the characters, like you talked about last week. Like, the characters are likable, they're fun. Every single time you pick one on the map, all right, let's do this. and then I love how it totally like reflects like how much health they have. Because like you pick, like if they're like almost dead and like you like pick them, they're like I don't know, I guess.
Yeah. Whatever you say, boss.
They're like, I need health, or honestly, like if someone gets hit, someone else will go, you need health.
Thanks for pointing that out.
yeah, thank you. But and then the ultimate best thing they could ever put in a Fire Emblem game, for sure, the ultimate, is the turn wheel. That solves all problems. It doesn't take anything away. The turn wheel, and it's not unlimited, and I guess you use cogs. Is that what it was to use it?
I think that's what it is, because cogs are just randomly sort of.
But then I never really knew. I only got a few of them, but I think you must acquire them just generally when you beat levels or something. I don't know, but anyway, the turn wheel is so cool, and I feel like you didn't really talk about it too much, because I'm playing on classic hard.
Well, excuse me.
No, I'm just saying it's so different. It's so different if you're, it's almost like, it creates this, like where, well, it's not really that hard. I mean, in a sense, like the enemies are harder, the strategy's a little harder, but you always have something to fall back on, usually, unless they sneak it. See, here's the thing: if they kill Alm or Celica, then you're dead, and it's like, it is so annoying because you're so used to not using it, even though that's how I really play it all the time. It's like, I'm not losing that guy. But so you can turn it back to any stage, any part, and it's cool because it like say you get a critical hit on something, I think usually, even if you go back and do it, you'll get the same critical hit.
Yeah, I think it's still like the numbers, the random numbers on their end of the rolls still play out the same. It's just a matter if you decide to like change your plan of attack, Like you said, if you did the same thing, I think it would play out exactly the same.
It'll do the same thing. Exactly. So that's really cool. So you can kind of rely and build strategy that way. And you don't have to play through the whole freaking level again.
That really is the
worst.
It's
like I would do it. Yeah, it is. I mean, it really is. It's kind of a broken system. And I did it. And sure, it has its benefits of, it puts that pressure on you. It makes you take it really seriously. It helps sharpen your strategic, knife.
Yeah, it makes like. Oh man.
You know how it is. So, so you can cut better.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. But you get it. You take it out of there, and you have the turn wheel where it's the same thing. You're just redoing your start. I mean, it just takes out all that.
It just saves you time.
I love that. I think that where I think I actually would have liked a little more is the team ups, where you can like be next to a guy, and he'll help you and your attack goes up, or you can pair up units. Mm-hmm. I wish you could pair up units. I remember really liking that from Awakening, Awakenings, that was called. Yep. And so I think that would have been really cool. Otherwise, I mean, the game, it's right now, it's just like, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I'm getting to some really fun levels, and you really have to, I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, I have to grind a good amount in the caverns or whatever. I don't know did you do that?
I mean, I would I'd always go through every cavern to the end just to see what, like some of them just have like different treasures and stuff hidden, and I would almost always.
Well, the caverns aren't big.
Yeah, I would almost always encounter the enemies that were in front of me, but like I never like went back up, went back down, fought them all over again. You know what I mean? Like it was, I would fight.
Oh, you did?
I would fight everything that was in my way up to the end. And then I would be done with that zone.
I bet that's the difference here between the classic and the or the hard, and the
baby.
The other one is
the baby mode,
the baby version. Well, I just no. I wonder because it's like it was like impossible, like I had to go back and grind, and then it got to the point where it's like, well, I could go back and play. And I could probably win, but it'd be really hard. Or I could just sit here because it's really easy.
Oh, those little fights
to level up your units.
Those little fights are nothing.
Are great because one of the things is there's an experience share for lack of better term.
At the end, yep.
Really, is every fight, everyone gets experience, even if they don't use them. They get a little experience until they hit 99, but then they can't. So they never get enough experience to change levels. So you have to use on the next turn, but it's so nice because then you just figure out, okay, this guy's at 90, this guy's at 92, this guy's at 97. Make sure who they are. The next battle.
Make
use
sure they
them.
get the first. Yeah.
Make sure that they get a hit, and then they go to the next level, and then so, really smart. I love that concept. Strategy still the whole game. Strategy is really fun.
Some of the later
levels are so fun.
Some of the later levels get like brutal, man.
Oh man, I
noticed they have a lot of really tight areas where like it's like you need to get to here, but there's only really one way through, and there's a lot of enemies to deal with.
Yes, and then they introduce like stuff like poison, poison
the ground,
like rivers or whatever. The ground is poison or whatever. Yeah, and then there's like one where this enemy sends a shockwave.
Oh,
there's like one
I remember
move
that
notice. And then it just sends a shockwave through and like takes like 10 off of everyone.
Dude, that was that's you're working your way from the right side of the screen to the left, right? On that one. Yeah, yes. that one was a pain. I had to redo that one.
So much fun. Yeah, so I'm really liking it. I have so many games I want to play right now.
I know it's
so I'm really trying to truck through
and you've got 2 months until the onslaught really comes. September, man.
I know, and so I do want to finish it, and I'm getting close, But it's a big game. For some reason, when you talked about it, I thought it was like 20 hours.
It's probably closer to 25, 30. Especially, especially for you. I think mine was closer to 20.
Especially for me.
But if you're rolling on the harder difficulty where you need to do some extra grinding, I could totally see it pushing towards 30.
That makes sense. So, yeah, I am curious to know what it would have been like in the other modes, but I feel like I've always done this, and I kind of like the challenge, in some sense, but I totally understand doing what
honestly
you did,
at this point in my life, like in the old days, I played it, like you said, I never let a single character die. I played, back then they didn't have the classic mode, so it's like I've done it, you know what I mean? But that was back when, I'd have a game and I wouldn't have another game for another month, you know what I mean? So me just sinking in hours and hours in one game was a possibility. And like nowadays,
instead of having 3 games every day.
Yeah, there's so many games.
And being on a podcast where you talk about 2 or 3 different games every week.
Yeah, that's really where it comes into.
And then review other games. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I really like Fire Emblem. Everyone should check it out.
I actually have a question before we change off Fire Emblem. Moving forward, when they go likely back to a structure more similar to Fate's, is that going to be something you might want to check out? Or would you be like, you know what, I really like this style better, like I'm not even interested?
I really am not interested in dating, relationship, not dating, but like marriage and I like that aspect. I don't know. I'll have to see. For some reason, because it seemed so different and stripped down, this really appealed to me. And of course, I got it in the Craigslist deal, so I wasn't really planning on getting it. Really, I wanted to get it, but investing a lot of time into it. So I definitely am glad I got it. I am definitely more encouraged to try the next one. But the way that they have everything, I mean, maybe they're gonna take it away. Who knows? I don't know. But I don't think they are, because did you hear the guy talking about Advance Wars?
No.
And he said the exact opposite thing of anything I'd ever want anyone to say.
What did he say?
Well, he's like, yeah, we'd like to make a new Advance Wars, but we don't know how to put in the relationship mechanic. So we're not... It's like, what are you talking about? No! Yes, exactly. Like, we don't need a relationship mechanic in Advance Wars. They're killing each other. Like, just stop it. Like, oh my goodness, why?
But don't you want to have like baby soldiers that are overpowered? Yeah.
Yes. but I mean, I really miss Advance Wars. I really do. That is my jam. I love Fire Emblem. Don't get me wrong. I am not. That's the thing, is when I say this, it's like I really love Fire Emblem. Like, it's a really fun game. I like, that's my strategy game. Other than Advance Wars, it's just that I've had nothing to choose from.
Yeah, for years. From that series.
There was 3 years ago, I played every Advance Wars game through again, and it was so much fun. I love those games.
I would love to go back and play. I haven't played in a really long time.
Oh, they're so
I remember
good.
playing
Dual Strike, man. Oh, nostalgia overload.
I remember playing for a while. I must have been like 9th or 10th grade. I forget exactly, but I remember like I'd always go to bed at 11 o'clock, so I'd make sure like, all right, I gotta be in bed at 10 playing Advance Wars, and I'd play Advance Wars for like an hour before bed every night.
That is so funny that you said that, because I remember playing Dual Strike for the first time. I was sick as a duck from and I was at home in bed, and it was the kind of sickness in your throat where your throat hurt so bad, like it just hurt. Like I needed those lozenges that numb your throat.
The throat
that are amazing.
Sore throats are the worst.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a small. It was like where it hurt to like where it just really hurts to cough like that.
And of course, you're probably coughing up like a storm.
Yeah, and like you have to, it kind of like always forces a cough out of you like every 10 seconds. Yeah, but I remember playing Advance Wars and just absolutely loving that game with my numb throat, and it was the best.
You can command your troops
in bed. Yeah, I just remember it was so bad that it was so bad I couldn't breathe. It would clog up my throat. But the memories of Advance Wars were very good. That's a great game. Anyway, yes, Fire Emblem's good. Advance Wars is better. Bring back Advance Wars. Don't do relationships. And moving on to Casey's next game.
De Mambo. Number 5. De Mambo. It is a little indie game that is actually coming out the day this posting goes live. I'm actually writing the review for it.
I have to admit I know absolutely nothing about this game.
Okay, so it's like an 8-bit style game, and it's multiplayer focused. Now, ironically, I have yet to play multiplayer because lack of people, but I should be playing it after recording tonight and tomorrow, to get the review done. So I'll be able to update.
Is it online?
Nope, it's local.
Okay.
So I'll give an update next week.
I'm also
on that.
reviewing a local multiplayer game, indie game on Switch that comes out the day of recording. That's really funny.
Yeah, look at us go. Now, like I said, I haven't played multiplayer, but so pretty much you're just like a little circle, and you have the controls are just one button and the analog stick, or you can use the D-pad. And to jump, you just press up, and you can do 3 jumps, and then you press A to do like a little like pulse attack. Then you hold it a little bit longer, and you do like a more it pulses out a little further. And then if you hold it for a little bit longer, there's a little gauge around your guy which shows you which level of attack you're at. And if you hold it for longest, then it will shoot out 4 little pellets, in left, right, up, down from you to attack enemies. And if you hold it too long, you'll actually burn out, and you'll not be able to do anything for a second. So that's the controls. It's fairly easy. Now, I haven't played multiplayer, as I've already said, but essentially it's like a game where you have to attack each other, and you're in a confined area, and when you get hit, you sort of you can't control what's happening, and you sort of just go flying, and you sort of bounce off the walls, and as you bounce off the walls, you break away pieces, and eventually, if you break away the wall and then you go flying through where that hole is in the wall, you'll go off the screen and explode, and that's sort of how you die. So single player it's like a gauntlet of little mini games. So there's 3 difficulties, and it goes through easy, medium, hard. Easy is indeed really easy, and I was like, this doesn't seem like too much of a single player, you know what I mean? If it's just going to be this. So each screen goes in, and your objectives sort of vary. One will be escape, which you just need to work your way to the door. And sometimes it's, okay, you're going to, it's going to be a side-scrolling section where you need to do some platforming, deal with some enemies, get to the end of the level, and go through a door. Sometimes it's more like a puzzle or like a maze, where you'll have blocks that require you to use certain attacks to blow up, and you need to work your way through that, and this is all timed. So you can't just take your time. Some of the craziest escapes when you get into the harder difficulties, it'll be get to the door, but you need to grab a key first, and the whole level's rotating. And you have to use certain attacks to blow up the boxes, so it gets really tough as it's rotating. And then if you need to make sure you don't fall off the bottom or jump off the top and die too. So it gets pretty tough. Some other game modes in there would be the destroy, where it'll be just you need to destroy all the enemies on the in the level. Some are collect, where you just need to. It looks like an onion of some sort. I'll have to double check and see what it is. But they'll have 10 of those spread out on the level, and you need to go grab each one. But obviously there'd be obstacles in the way. Then they actually do have some bosses thrown in there too, which are actually pretty fun. I've seen 2 bosses, I think. They sort of reuse the one a lot. It's just sort of like a big guy who charges at you, but you can hit him in the head and he sort of like staggers back and slams into the wall. So you need to like break the wall and have him fall off the edge. Now, the thing with these are they're quick. Most of them are like 30 seconds. You know what I mean? They don't. There's one I think that was like a minute 30 or 2 minutes, and it was like you needed to destroy a boss, but you had to actually work your way to him first. But honestly, like the controls, while they're easy, when you jump around, it's very like loose. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a tight jump. If you know what I mean. So it's like.
Right.
In multiplayer, I'm assuming being loose like that is going to be beneficial because it's like just seems like it's going to be hectic chaos. You know what I mean? But in some of the more difficult solo missions, like the precision you need on the platforming and your movement is pretty like narrow window of what you need to hit. And since it's so loose, that can become a pretty big challenge, you know what I mean? And it's because of the controls, not because of actual difficulty, you know?
Okay. Well, that's no good.
Yeah, so that, I mean, like, I got all the way through the hard one to, like, the last boss, and I died. And, like, this took, like, 40 minutes. Like, it took quite a while to get through, and, you know, if you lose at the last, you just have to restart. Like, you have a certain amount of lives, and if you lose them all, you gotta just restart fresh. And it's really frustrating when it's like, oh, well, I wasted 5 or 6 lives on this stupid one that just needed me to have, like, great precision with these loose controls, you know? So that's pretty disappointing. Right now, I don't love the game. There is another mode called Unlimited, which can be, you can play solo or co-op, and it's just like an arcade very arcadey feeling where they just send waves of enemies and you need to kill each wave of enemy, and they're going to try and attack like the floor, and the floor will eventually start breaking off, and if you fall you die, so you know you need to protect the ground. Very arcade feel to it, and it's sort of cool, but not enough to really keep my attention too much. And like I said, I know the focus with this game is primarily multiplayer, so there's a chance that I could play multiplayer and then all of a sudden be like, wow, like, that was so much fun, you know, and like, oh, and the solo stuff is nice added bonus. But the way I have a feeling multiplayer is going to work out, I feel like it's just going to be like, oh, like, this is fun to play once with your friends if you can, and then it's going to probably not be played too much more, which is unfortunate because, like, it is sort of cool, but like I said, I'm going to hold my final judgment for when I play some multiplayer and get in there and see what it's all about. But
yeah, I mean, that's going to be a game changer for sure.
Yeah, but it just also,
like, you know,
is rough that it's only local, you know. So it's like I wish it was some online play, and then it'd be easy to get four players and, you know, see how hectic and crazy it can get. But
right.
But yeah,
us being Nintendo fans, like, you know, we're so used to every game having online multiplayer, so it's kind of weird to get a game that only has local multiplayer.
Yeah, what is this? What year is it? No, but like I said, I will give an update next week for sure. You know, if you are interested, definitely check out the review. Should be up on Thursday for yeah, it should definitely be up Thursday. I'm gonna get that multiplayer in tonight and tomorrow and write it. So, you know, if you really want to see the final verdict, check out a Nintendo World Report.
And look on the site right now.
Yeah, boom. But yeah, so we'll see how that pans out. But I think you've actually got to play some of your multiplayer on your multiplayer focused game.
I sure have. Oh yes. So yes, I have been playing and reviewing a little game called Death Squared.
Hello, Iris. Run Death Squared again. I got a feeling they're gonna nail it.
Yes, David. Restarting Omnicorp AI simulation.
Death Squared, yeah. What is this game, you just asked? Well, Casey, it's a game where you are a cube and there's two of you. There's a red cube and a blue cube. and you have to get to your matching red portal or your blue portal. Now, you can play the single player, akin to the Animal Crossing game in Nintendo Land, where you control both of the police dogs at the same time with both analog sticks. Just like that, but on a smaller scale, where you're always, on the same screen. It totally works. It works. If you can play the whole game by yourself, is what I'm saying. But you can split off those Joy-Cons, and then suddenly this is like the best tabletop mode multiplayer game yet. Yes, it is
High
fantastic. Oh yes, it is so perfect. The game is really simple. So it's a puzzle game. You set it up every level is set up completely differently. With new ideas, where you're just trying to get your little box to your little ring, and it's called Death Squared, right? So the idea is you are going to die a lot, exponentially, it's gonna keep you squared, right?
Yep.
But so there's also a party mode where there's 4, and you can play with 4 people, which is really cool. And you can also, seriously, you can play party mode for 4 different boxes by yourself too. You just hold you hold the L button, and then that controls
all of them.
You control one with the analog stick, hold the L button.
Oh, gotcha.
And then it controls the other one. So you can never control 4 at once, but you can control 2 and switch. I would love to see. There has to be some Japanese person that's gonna speed run the game by himself in party mode. But it's really, really hard. So yeah, this game is really fun. Me and Aaron have been playing it. We played it the whole thing on break. Over the past couple weeks, and it has been so much fun. We have been, there's a lot of different ideas, and it's funny because you'll be playing the game, and it's like, can I do this? It seems like I can do this, but am I cheating the system? It's that kind of a thing where, and then, that is what I have to do to finally get it.
Yeah, that always feels super good.
Yeah. So all you're doing is moving blocks around, but as you move, things will happen. So for instance, if I move right, on this puzzle, I'm walking, well, there might be a platform that I'm also moving as I move right. And then when I stop, it'll stop, and then when I go, it'll go, So that platform will have its own, and it's not to say it moves just like you do. It moves on its own, unique pattern around the level. So maybe you'll have to walk back here, walk left for 2 seconds, and then to make it so the other guy can jump on the platform, and then you can take him around the level by walking, and stuff like that, or lasers. There's lasers. There's a blue laser and a red laser, and so if you're red, you cannot touch the blue laser, or you'll die. But if you're red, you can touch the red laser. Yeah, you can get through it there. Yeah. And so that's a big part of it is blocking the lasers so they don't pass, so that you can let the other guy pass. And then, because it goes across the whole level, so you can stop it in its path, so you can let people cross, and stuff like that. So it's really simple stuff. The aesthetic is, it's very Portal-like, and you even have a guy named David talking with an artificial intelligence,
that dang old
named
David.
Iris. Yeah. And it's just this funny, quote unquote funny, talking about, the guy's talking to a computer like it's his day job to make these puzzles or something. They're ramping it. They're hamming it up a little bit. Yeah, it's good. I mentioned in my review, it doesn't get in the way or anything. It adds fun. Sometimes there's genuinely like really funny things that I would laugh out loud at. But it was never like we had this thing where because we play Jackbox all the time too, and Aaron thought that the guy sounded like the guy from Quiplash, and so he just called him Quiplash. So like every time the guy said something just for fun, Aaron would just go, "Shut up, Quiplash." So that was kind of funny. But not that, yeah, it's fine. It's good voice acting. Sure, the writing is kind of
cheesy, yeah,
cringeworthy sometimes, but that's just how it is.
It almost sounds like maybe they were trying to, like, rolling with the cheese.
Oh yeah, no, it's well done. That's why I don't want to knock it too much, because honestly, it's really good acting. It's a good actor. It's good quality sound. They did a really good job for what you can do. That's just sometimes you just
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Everything can't be perfect, So, yeah. So it's this really simple game, great for multiplayer, and I think it's up there in the leagues of, definitely up there with Snipper Clips. And it definitely has way more content than Snipper Clips. I would say the where the difference is that, like Snipper Clips and like Box Boy, there are so many different variables that they introduce, and it's almost like every level is completely different. Do you know? Like they never
they don't repeat ideas
on this. Yeah, they don't repeat ideas ever. Whereas in you're basically repeating ideas the whole time in new ways. It's stretching it because it's a 3-dimensional game, so it's very similar to Box Boy, right? And you'd think, well, hey, that kind of sounds
yeah,
that makes sense, right? Because it's a puzzle game with a Box Boy.
Yeah, for Box Boy.
And now I'm thinking about it, yeah. Hey, dude, I could totally see them making a 3D Box Boy. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Box cubed, cube box.
Oh God.
Yeah, it is funny because this is called Death Squared, and it's 3D, and Box Boy is 2D.
Yeah. Oh, good old Box Boy.
That's funny. Anyway, but as with Box Boy's great, but you can't, in Death Squared, it's just kind of always using the same ideas. But I say that, but because these ideas you can use in completely different ways. See, that's the thing. Whereas you'll get a lot of different, things in Box Boy and in Snipper Clips where like it's completely just a different, like sharpen the pencil,
yeah,
or pop the balloons. Like you don't really do that. You're just trying to get to the portal. So anyway, it's not that it's bad, but it's one of those things where I can see we've been playing in half hour to hour bursts, 45 minutes around. And I think it's perfect for that. And I could see where if you play for like long gaming sessions of puzzle games with, sure, if you're with your friends, I'm sure it'd be really fun. But, it can get tiring if it's just kind of the same aesthetic. They never change the, it'd be cool, like, if they would change, since the whole thing is, like, supposed to be inside of a computer, it'd be cool if they could change, like, to, like, maybe, like, a desert or a jungle or something like that,
just to
something,
change up
but
a
it's
little
just
bit, yeah.
Yeah, and these are just nitpicking things, but it'd be kind of, it'd be fun, it'd be funny, and sometimes they do. That's the other thing is sometimes they do throw in like really fun things where like the guy will be like, they'll suddenly your controls are backwards, and it's like what the heck, like what happened? And then like you'll be trying to go through the level, and the guy says, David says, you know what? Let's stop doing that. That thing seems like it's pretty hard, So they're commenting on what you're doing.
That's pretty funny,
and,
though.
It is great because it's like if you're waiting there on a puzzle, like you're trying to figure out something, and he'll go, "Hey, Blue, do something." Like you're just sitting there. Obviously, you have to do something. So,
do you think?
It's good.
Do you think it's local multiplayer only, right?
Yes.
Do you think that hurts a lot, or do you think this might not be a game that would be great?
It's so funny because I never once thought about that. Isn't that funny? I never thought about online because of the Joy-Cons and how perfect it works. It's so easy to play this game. It really is. Like, because all you use is the analog stick. That's all you need. You know, you don't need any of the other buttons.
Yeah, it's nice
and
straightforward.
The screen on the the actual Switch screen, and what you're doing, your characters are totally big enough to where we played the whole time. We were playing on it with it sitting on the table, and it was amazing. So, I just never once. It's so easy to play multiplayer that I never even thought of online multiplayer. So I don't feel like it really hurts it. It could make it awesome. I would love to play online, but I guess I just wasn't expecting it. Like Snipper Clips doesn't have it, for multiplayer, right?
I don't think so. I feel like some of these games are more, conducive to being with one another that sort of amplify the fun.
Yeah.
But I wish...
Well, I mean, in some of them...
It would be cool, though, for us to be able to play.
It would be awesome. And here's the thing. Like I said before, this game gets super hard. Like, ridiculously hard. Never unobtainable, but super hard. And so I can see... And like I said, a lot of the levels, you'll figure it out. And it feels like you're cheating the level. But it's a great feeling because you do it and it's like, I can't believe they thought of that. It's like, I cannot believe that that's what I was supposed to do to beat this level. And it's a wondrous feeling. It's like like that feeling of thinking outside the box, and it's like, oh, that was right. So
yeah, it's rewarding.
And then so with that combined online, what I was going to say, it's like, well, it's very, like if there was lag, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So
no, that makes
that's one
sense
thing to
too.
think about as well. So, but for sure, it would be awesome online. I wish it had online, but as it stands, it's an excellent game. I really like it, but here's the thing: you can play it single player for sure, and you can get some enjoyment out of it. But honestly, you need to go expecting it to be multiplayer, and that's where you're going to get your fun. But just know that the convenience of it is so great. Everyone will understand it. It's fun. It creates conversation. Me and my friend were just laughing the whole time, at stuff, at trying to figure out, go left. Like just kind of.
Yeah, those games always.
We're just laughing. Yeah. So, if that sounds good, definitely get it. And I think it's $15.
Yep.
Bucks.
Yeah, I checked before.
Cheaper than Snipper Clips. So, cool. Well, I think we have one last game to talk about.
Yes, another indie. I actually picked up Mr. Shifty. Now, do you know much about Mr. Shifty?
No, we had one of the developers on our show.
Yeah, I know. How funny is that?
Yeah.
That might have been part of the reason why I was more inclined to get Mr. Shifty.
For sure.
Because originally it didn't really... Like, I heard some good things, and then I was like, whatever, sort of fell off the radar. But I ended up picking it up. Now, this is... It's pretty much a beat-em-up game with, like, a cool dash ability. So you're looking top-down, and you are, like, infiltrating this building to... You're trying to get something back. I forget exactly. But essentially you need to work your way up this building, and you're finding it's very heavily secured, and there's a ton of guys you need to beat the crap out of. Now, it's pretty easy controls. Obviously you're going to move around with the analog stick, and then, you've got your attack button. You've got your dash button, which lets you dash through walls, and, if they have, like, there are points where there's, like, lasers that are sort of like the alarm system that you need to dash through. And you could pick up items as well, like wood legs that broke off a table or something, metal poles, and you can hit people with that, and that obviously sort of like takes them out real quick, because some of the enemies you need to punch a little bit, but if you hit them with an item, it sort of takes them down really quick. Now it feels good. It's nice. It's fun to like dash through and beat the crap out of a bunch of people. And, you know, they have different enemies, like some have guns, some are like big hulking dudes that, like, you know, you need to go, like, they take a bunch of hits to bring down. And, you know, in the beginning it's pretty much like, oh, you can just sort of go through and clear things out. But then they start adding more, like there's like a Gatling gun that, you know, if you get hit with that once, you're done. So it's like, sometimes you need to make sure to double dash through there so you don't get hit with that. And there are different cool things where, like, you'll go up into, like, you'll walk up and you'll see, okay, wow, there's 9 rooms here, and they've got guns pointed at all the doors, you know what I mean? So it's like, alright, how am I going to tackle this? And you can actually punch the door and it flies off the hinges and it'll hit someone and take them out. So it's like one of those where, like, alright, I'm going to punch the left door, it's going to take that guy out, I'm going to then, you know, dash behind the other guy in there and beat him up. And it's sort of cool to work around each room when it's more strategical, you know, is when I sort of liked it more. Like, okay, I need to sort of think about how I'm going to attack this, because once I start it, like, all, you know what I mean, like the dominoes sort of fall, if you will. So it's like things get hectic, so you need to sort of lay out a ground plan, you know, with how you want to push forward.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, there's something about it, like, when I'm playing it, I enjoy it just fine, but it doesn't have that hook that's making me want to continue to go back. I don't know if it's just because a lot of it is pretty similar stuff, where it's like, oh, I'm just, you know, the main goal is always sort of like get to this point by beating up all the people in the way, and then grabbing an item, then beating up some more people and work, you know what I mean? It's sort of the same thing over. And like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because I'm enjoying it when I'm doing it. It just doesn't, it's not grabbing me as much as I wish it had, you know?
Right. You got it post update, correct?
Yes, I just picked it up last week.
I mean, does it come with the update install? I always wonder, you know, on Switch how that works. I mean, did you have to do an update?
I don't think so. I think I just downloaded and it was working, because the update fixed, like, it was crashing or something, right? Some technical issues.
Yeah, and I think with the frame rate too, right? And have you experienced that?
Oh yeah, no, the frame rate and everything from a technical aspect has been fine for me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, I haven't, no issues there. Like I said, the game looks nice. I like how it looks, the top down and the cool graphics. The soundtrack is sort of bland, you know, repetitive music, but you know, not so much that it, like, takes me out of it, but you know, it's nothing to write home about. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, there's something sort of just bland about it, and not necessarily in a bad way.
Sure.
It's just, yeah, like, for right now, I haven't gone back to it in a couple days. I don't know if it's completely off the radar. I'm going to, you know, wrap up that review. I don't know if I'm going to go back to it afterwards. But yeah, like I said, it's not that it's a bad game, just not a great game.
Well, and to be honest, I mean, with so many games being played, you know, being in the excitement of GoNNER, you know, and then reviewing the Mambo, and you know, it's like, it's hard to stand out a lot these days.
Yeah, no,
it seems. So yeah, I totally get it. This game still intrigues me, and I want to get it. I think I'm just gonna wait for a sale on it, because I'm sure they'll have one. That Snake Pass sale has gotten my hopes up for a lot of stuff.
False sense of hope. Yeah, you know what game I wish I had gotten instead of Mr. Shifty, and the game I'm probably going to get at some point, is Implosion. Have you seen that for Switch?
I've seen like screenshots and maybe some gameplay, and I think it looks like Bayonetta.
Yeah, I guess it sort of looks like that. I don't know. To me, it just,
in a way, but yeah.
It looks cool, like a nice hack and slash kind of, sort of like, I don't know if it will be completely comparable, but like to Diablo, where it's just like, oh, you're gonna kill a ton of enemies and stuff, and I don't know. It definitely looks pretty cool. I'm interested in that one. You might be hearing from it.
Oh yeah.
From me about that game in the coming weeks.
Nice. Very cool.
But yeah, I think that wraps it up.
All right. Well, we are going to take a break from that hour-long discussion of 5 games.
Of Nindies and Fire
Yeah.
Emblem.
Yeah. Nindies and Findies. And, yeah, we'll see you back for the eShop Roundup.
I wish that could be some sort of new segment. Welcome to Findies and Nindies with Casey and Perry. Welcome back to the Nintendo eShop Roundup with Perry.
The eShop Roundup. Yeehaw. All right. Yes, and it is time to talk about what came out digitally and physically, but I don't think anything came out physically, for our beloved Nintendo systems. And we're going to start with the Wii U.
The system that'll never die.
That's right.
Keeps chugging along.
Even though I think last week you said 3DS was the system that will never die.
Well,
And Switch is the system that lives.
well, I was gonna say, was the Wii U ever alive? Can it die if it never lived?
Oh,
No,
the Wii U brought
I
us
know. I'm
Splatoon.
kidding. I'm kidding. I love my Wii U.
You are a kidder.
I was just playing it the other day.
I use it every day. It might be because it's a TV remote, but I'm just saying. We're gonna start with a Wii Virtual Console game.
That Wii
heck
VC,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah, Rayman Raving Rabbids for $19.99.
Nintendo and
Yes.
Ubisoft working together.
That's right. Yep. I bet like they asked Nintendo if they could put it on there, and they're like, well,
I guess.
you have to make a Mario Cross Rabbids game first and announce it, and then you can release it. Okay, we'll make the dang game.
All right.
5 years later.
I tell you
All
what,
right.
I've actually got this game for my Wii on my shelf.
I know.
I
Did
got
you
the
see
physical.
the bullet point I put after?
Casey's favorite Wii launch game. I did not see that.
It's so funny that you didn't see that, and then you mentioned that it's on your shelf.
Yeah, well, I didn't see that, and I just happened. I was like, wait, I think I have that one.
That's great.
I
I think I have that too.
Raving
in a
Rabbids was
pile of
actually
Craigslist stuff.
Wasn't that actually a pretty decent game? And then they like sort of got really crappy, or
I don't know.
can't even
I
say
think
if they're
so.
crappy. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, I really don't know. I feel like they
Yeah.
get a bad rep. Like I feel like everyone hates
Yeah.
on it for
Yeah.
probably no good reason.
I think it's just because there's so much of them and they're obnoxious little things, so it's just
Yeah,
it's just
Dang
you know.
it.
So it's yeah, whatever. But anyway, I'm really anxious for you to talk about the next game.
stinker of the century. Not even the week. This is stinker of the century, man.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold on.
Dude, I'm looking at these screenshots and
Announce the game first. Hold on, just announce the game.
the game is called A Day at the Carnival for the
And
Wii
how much
U.
does it cost?
It is $12.95. Not a bad price. Well, I mean, it's a terrible price for what it's going to be, but Thornberry
Okay, now
Software.
read the bullet points.
Do I have to? Okay. Looks absolutely horrifying, like a nightmare's nightmare, which is very true.
It does.
Missing are
is
the crowds,
scary.
annoying vendors, and pushing and shoving. If you miss those things, then bring the crowd with you as you play.
That's what it says. It says missing the crowd's annoying vendors, the pushing and shoving. Now, you know, you know how you love going to the carnival and you hate the vendors and the crowds?
Don't worry.
Well,
This
now you can step into a nightmare of scary, freaky, and like Nintendo 64 looking carnival games where you play with yourself. It is really freaky.
and the number of players is still to be determined.
Well, it is scary.
Guys,
this is a scary game. It makes me wonder how this is out. How?
I'm begging you guys, please, just Google up or just go to Nintendo's website and look at A Day at the Carnival and just look at these screenshots. I'm probably going to tweet this out.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's genuinely like that first screenshot where like you're looking and it's just like a road with games and they're like little bubbles and it's just like freaky. It's just like ugh.
And like your weird hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
so
I definitely check it out, guys. Please. $12.95. I swear they probably sell like 20 copies and it's all just people biting the bullet to laugh at how bad it is.
Yeah, I bet.
But anyway, moving on to some better offerings.
Yes, Revenant Saga for $9.99. And to me, okay, it's an RPG boasting a story that blurs the lines between good and evil. That sounds so unique and crazy. To me, this is the most, and I don't mean to turn the eShop Roundup into well, let's make fun of every game. I really am not. I'm not trying to make fun of this game, and it looks like
It actually looks pretty solid.
It looks like a video game. Like it is the most stereotypical RPG video game I've ever seen. You know, it doesn't look like it's made by like a AAA developer or anything, but I mean it's so like tropey. It's just everything about it. I don't know.
Yeah. But you know
like,
what?
It's
like
just nothing.
People like that stuff, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what? They probably knew. They're like, we're going to follow up like A Day at the Carnival on the eShop Roundup. We got nothing to worry about.
That's true.
They're like, as long as we put a decent something forward.
Are you sure they weren't like, oh no, we're going to follow up A Day at the Carnival.
And you're like, oh!
Hurry up. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the last game.
Now we have a game called Space Hunted, which is an NES-inspired platformer. Seems to feature the Zapper, the old classic Zapper gun.
Like
it seems to be
in
the
levels.
Yeah, it's his little gun, right?
Yeah, like it looks just like an 8-bit version of the Zapper.
I really love his little jumping sprite with like his big mane of hair.
Yeah. This game looks like an NES game. I gotta give him props. Like, it looks really clean and nice, and like the title screen totally looks like an NES game. It's great.
Yeah, like the old time one too, like the black box.
Yeah, and it's, but I don't know. It looks fun. I don't know. To me, I kind of want to get this. Like,
and for $2.99, it seems like a good price point, and it looks like it actually offers a pretty good experience.
Because it's a platformer, you know, and you can, I think you shoot and stuff, and there's 128 levels. So, I don't know. I just think I like crisp pixel art, you know, and it looks crisp. So,
definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, there you go. But that's enough of the Wii U. On to the 3DS. So this first game that we have is Stack 'em High for $3.99. Now this game, the pictures that they show on the eShop, it's just this pile of things. Have you seen them?
I'm looking. Oh my god.
Do you see?
It's like a floating checkered like floor, and it's got like, it looks like someone dropped like 15 train models in a pile.
Yeah. And you gotta stack them high, baby. Just stack them. Well, what am I supposed to do? Stack them. Well, what do you stack them?
Choose the position to drop each toy and pile them up high, trying not to let them topple over the edge. Pile up toys high enough within the time limit to clear each stage.
Oh my goodness! I just can't believe it. Like, wow. So they got a physics engine and they're using it.
Amen, man.
So
it looks better than A Day at the Carnival.
$3.99, baby. I might have to pick this up just for kicks. All right, but next up.
Next, we've got Table Tennis Infinity, an exciting new version of portable ping pong. Now, your balls will bounce. You bounce the balls.
It's funny. It says exciting portable version of ping pong. And
it looks so
you
bare
don't
bones.
play ping pong. I think you just bounce like if you were standing there with a ping pong paddle and you're bouncing it up in the air. I think that's all you do. And this is the exciting portable version of ping pong.
Still better than a day at the carnival.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yes.
That's the best thing about this eShop Roundup. Every game is gonna be like
stack 'em high.
Well, at least it looks better than that one.
Oh man. Oh no, we're turning into awful eShop Roundup people. You gotta kick it up. This next game, here we go.
You know what it is? It's a bad week. It's a bad week.
It is a pretty bad week, I gotta say. I mean, Revenant Saga is fine, but you got Rabbids and
Well, Rabbids looks like a masterpiece
it's okay,
compared to these other games.
It sure as heck does. But what's this next one we got, Case?
Kirby's Blowout Blast. Woo!
All right. $6.99.
More Kirby, baby.
Yeah. So if you needed more Kirby, which I don't think anyone does, I'm just kidding. I'm not shooting this game down.
Yeah.
This game looks fun. That's all about I have to say. So.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a Kirby game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's cool because it's in 3D, and there's like, I think there's over 25 stages. That's cool. But this is a game that was featured in the Planet Robobot too. So before you buy it, maybe check and play the one on that one.
Yeah, you might be able to get a good deal on Robobot nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. But to our last 3DS game, we have Crawler's Game Pack for $1.50.
$1.50.
And this is 4 games. Now I'm gonna read you the titles of these games. It's Space Shooter.
I wonder what you do in that one.
Yep. Color Switch. Zigzag Ball. And then my favorite, Dotch It. I don't know what Dotch It is. I don't know what is Dotch a thing? DOTCH? Am I missing something?
I don't know. But did you know that the 3D feature can only be used on the new 3DS family of consoles?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Enjoy hours of gameplay and try to beat each other's game's high score.
And then it says single player only.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. So
I mean, I guess for $1.50 you get 4 games, I guess if you really, trying to get your bang for your buck.
I suppose. You know what we need?
We need some Switch.
Yeah, let's go to some Switch games.
And like most weeks, we do have another Neo Geo game. This time, Metal Slug 2, $7.99, your standard price, and 94 megabytes. And yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, they released Metal Slug 3 at launch.
They're going backwards.
And then they went to Metal Slug, and now they're doing 2. They went 3, 1, 2.
Strange.
So, yeah, strange, but yeah, these games are great. And like I said, this is what you're gonna have for Virtual Console, on Switch until next year probably. So, I don't forget about these games. They're really fun. They're really cool. So yeah. But next we have, and I guess I have to pronounce this. Is it Sheppy or Sheffy? I've heard people say Sheppy.
I think it's Sheppy, but who knows?
It's so weird. I think that's the whole point. Like, if that doesn't give you a clue of what the game is like, is where you don't know. It's a simple word, but you don't know how to pronounce it. It's $4.99, 159 megabytes, and it's a single-player card game. Okay, like Solitaire, single-player card game. But you have to increase your sheep count to 1,000. I don't know what that means.
And I'm looking at the screenshot, and like some of these cards just have like a sheep mounting another sheep.
Yeah, I don't know. It says, "Let's go sheep," with a period at the end. In the thing. So, and then there's also a post-love mode.
Oh no.
So and I've heard that there's some crazy things that happen in this game. So
some waifu sheeping, some sheep
so
waifu.
Casey's gonna let us know about Shifty next week, episode 43. So anyway, let's move on to hey, this game we've had on the eShop Roundup before.
Have we?
Yeah, it came out on Wii U.
Vaccine for $9.99, coming in at 309 megabytes. Now, this is a game. It looks very
it looks like old school Resident Evil.
Yeah, Resident Evil PS1 graphics.
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess what you need to like find a vaccine before your friend dies or something to that extent.
Yeah, that's the point. I think that's the point of the game. I've heard like middling thoughts on this game where it's like some people like if you appreciate what they're trying to go for, I think that you'll like it. So
yeah, I'm looking at it.
People have been enjoying it,
and it's like
some people are like, this is really weird, but
yeah, 30-minute time limit with it looks like randomly generated levels. So it's sort of a cool take on the survival horror. Like instead of crafting. Like, okay, we craft a maze, and here it is. Here's a bunch of random things. Now, the only bad thing is, with random things, generally aren't as good, you know what I mean? Like, sure, you'll get to play the replayability, but, it won't be as good as a fully crafted maze-type environment. But,
of course.
Yeah, I've sort of heard bad things, I feel like.
That adds to the fear, right?
Yeah,
like,
you never know.
That adds to the... Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Like I said, I feel like I've heard some people sort of like, ugh, but it looks sort of cool. Like I said, it definitely pulls on those nostalgic strings.
Yeah, on those ugly polygon strings. But speaking of ugly polygons, this next gorgeous 2D game, Bulb Boy, is out. $8.99, 808 megabytes. Now, this is a 2D horror puzzle adventure game. It's definitely an adventure game, and it looks incredible.
I was just gonna say, like,
it's so cool. I mean, like GoNNER, really gorgeous artwork. Unique.
I love how dark it is, but at the same time, so colorful. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's very like ominous, dark game, but it seems like each level is sort of has like one tone, sort of. I'm looking at red and like green, very prominent colors. Looks really cool.
And apparently, it features a lot of poop. So,
I know you like your poop.
Whatever floats your boat.
Oh.
So, yeah, I am probably gonna get this game. So I might talk about this next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks really cool.
We'll see. It does look fun.
Now
what do we got next?
This game I had mentioned before, Implosion, for the Nintendo Switch, coming in at $11.99, and it is 3.1 gigabytes. So it is a big, hefty download.
Yeah, it's a bigger one.
Well, if you look at the graphics, they're really impressive. I think they look really cool. Looks like they have some really cool visual effects with different weapon types. But Implosion is a sci-fi hack-and-slash game where the protagonist fights against enemies known as XADA using WM-3, in parentheses, War Mech 3 battle suits. So,
okay.
Fully orchestrated music, high-quality graphics, voice acting, and explosive gameplay. Looks pretty cool. This is,
It should be implosive gameplay.
Ooh... They should hire you. Yeah, this might be one I pick up. It looks really cool.
Cool.
Maybe we got some games to talk, some more Nindies.
Yeah, I'd love to
talk
hear
about.
more about it. Yep, Nindies and Findies.
Ooh-wee.
And speaking of Findies, we have the Splatfest World Premiere, baby. Woo! This is an app separate from the Testfire app. You know that they like Splatoon because they've already released 2 software things.
You know what? I wonder
before it's released.
I wonder if it's sort of also like, hey, you've got 2 icons reminding you about Splatoon. Like, hey, go pick it up.
Oh yeah, but they don't know that. Hey, I pre-ordered this a long time ago.
The second it went live on Amazon, it was pre-ordered.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually got it for really cheap at Walmart. They had like a really cool deal going where I got it for like $3 or something.
Can't beat that for a game you knew you were gonna buy.
Heck yeah. But yes, this is $0. It's 1.4 gigs, so it's pretty small compared to for what you're doing. And yes, the first Splatfest is cake versus ice cream. Now, we haven't talked about what side we're picking, the Alley Cats.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, I guess,
Yeah,
sort of
we'll
have
have
a
to chat
unified
about
front.
this. Yeah, for sure. I'll tell. Well, we can talk after the show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, it's Saturday. It's this Saturday, July 15th.
A
3
pre-launch
to 7
event.
p.m. Yeah, 4 hours, and I will be there for 4 hours.
That's by the way, that is 3 to 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, so, 4.
Yeah, because I
Yes,
have it
that's
listed below as 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh wait, it's 6 to 10 Eastern.
Yeah, p.m. Eastern. So it's 3 to 7 p.m. Pacific.
So
for you, it's 5
6
to
10.
9.
5 to 9.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Good to know. Okay, perfect. Well, that's it. That is going to do it for our eShop Roundup. Yeehaw! But I'm hearing the news siren.
Wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo.
Wii U.
Yeah. No Wii
Nope.
U news this week.
Nope.
But we do have some good news, and we're going to get into it right now.
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
Alrighty, so last week there was a Nintendo Direct. Of course, it was announced and actually happened the day we released last week's episode, so, this is sort of old news, but I figured we'd just do a quick run through, maybe get our little impressions. We were shown off some new weapons and the returning townsmen, who sell all the goods that you're going to end up buying. We also got a first look at Nintendo Switch Online app, which we found out will launch alongside Splatoon on July 21st, which is just a week and change away at this point. Now, it looks pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm glad that it's coming with the big marquee multiplayer title, and we're all gonna get it for free until next year, and I'm excited to see what it can do. Now, they said the app will automatically set up voice chats for teams, which is nice, as well as full stat tracking on all of your weapons that you end up using, which is pretty cool. What else do we got here? The Splatnet, which I believe you use that site quite a bit, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Splatnet's really cool. It's just a site, but you can also kind of I had it kind of set up as like an app, like a link on my phone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that you could just click it and then what's going on and what's gonna be playing tonight. Like what mode and stuff, and it has all this stuff. It has like how much ink you've used with each gun. So you can see what you've used the most. I wonder what Casey uses.
Yeah.
And then
The dualies, baby. Those could be my new weapons. But
yeah, whatever has the. Actually, is there a bubbler? No, but there's the baller.
oh, dude, that looks so cool.
I wonder if the bubbler's not in there.
It has to be, otherwise I'm canceling my pre-order. No, but
Okay.
They said that the Splatnet is actually going to be folded into the app, so it's going to be nice to have.
Splatnet 2.
Yes, Splatnet 2, excuse me.
Yeah, that is really cool. Yeah, that's really awesome.
We also got word that it's going to be a similar content distribution as, I was going to say last year, as Splatoon, the original game for the Wii U. For the first year, there's going to be patches and updates adding gear, stages, and weapons, and Splatfests will be running for up to 2 years. As Perry said before, the first Splatfest will be a pre-launch event, which is July 15th, this upcoming Saturday, if you're listening to the podcast when it drops, 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 to 7 Pacific, and like we said, cake or ice cream.
Yeah, let us know which one you picked.
Now, some other cool little tidbits. Ranked battles are now going to track performances in each ranked mode separately, which is pretty cool. And they are going to have a little art studio in-game where you can draw designs, which sort of replaces, the lack of Miiverse, which I think is a nice touch, a nice little addition.
Oh yeah, that was a huge thing on Splatoon. Was like walking around and just seeing all those messages and all those amazing fan arts of the Splatoon
all
stuff.
The crazy stuff. Yeah,
and the ones that say localized Mother 3 and
it makes the plaza feel more alive, you know what I mean? And not necessarily something like, oh, I just use this to get from point A to B. It makes you actually feel like, oh, all right, I'm glad I'm checking this out. And the last little tidbit on Splatoon 2 is actually social media is going to be able to be utilized to send private match invites, which I thought was pretty darn cool.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, that'll be convenient.
Yeah, like especially for Twitter, like it'll be easy to set up games with people, which I think will be great. Awesome.
Yeah, I think that the one thing you kind of glossed over, the ranked battles having a separate rank for each is so cool.
Oh no, I think that's awesome because it
only for matchmaking purposes,
It really does, because you could be so good at splat zones, but then Rainmaker you're absolutely terrible at. But yeah, when it groups you all up into one, it's like you're just gonna get dominated when you play a certain match because generally the people are better.
Exactly.
So I definitely think this is a smart addition.
Now the question that has to be answered with their matchmaking, are they gonna be sensible with their stupid policies or that they did, how you can't be matched up if you're playing with if there's 3 of you, it won't add another person to your team, and it will only let you play against 3 or 4 people.
God, I hope.
Do you think they're gonna do that?
I hope they fix that, because it really doesn't make any sense.
Stupidest thing.
Yeah, because there's plenty of people who are queuing up to play multiplayer alone. And if you have a team of 3, throw them on there. It makes no sense.
It's so stupid.
And if you want to keep 3, then only pair us up against 3. You know what I mean? Like, if that really is, for some weird reason, too much to handle.
But it's like, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, if you can't get another 3, then add another person to us.
It's asinine. But it's like,
how can you not get another 3? Because then pair up 2 people that are paired up. Or pair up 3 other. It's not that. Yeah, it's like, why can't we just play 3 random people that aren't a team?
Yeah. Well, I can see why they might not want to do that, because then generally the team of 3 is just gonna wreck the random 3. But at the same token, it's better than going, oh well, 3 people are just gonna get owned by a team of 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we've taken out a few 4 teams, in our time,
and it feels good, but
yeah, it does.
Most of the time, you get your butt handed to you.
Yeah, and also we're waiting there for matches to start because it doesn't let you match up. It's like, just pair us with 3 other people, you ding dongs. Like, this is so silly.
Yeah. So it's annoying. But that's enough of Splatoon. Now we're getting into the old update corner here. We've got a bunch of games with different
Nindies and Findies.
Nindies and Findies update corner, brought to you by Powerade. Here we go.
Yes.
Why don't you take this?
Blaster Master Zero got 2 more, or it's getting 2 more characters. Well, it's got 1 character, getting another one. 2 well-known Nintendo fan characters, I'd say. Well, Nintendo
inspired.
What would you call it? Inspired. I guess, is Blaster Master Zero, that's only out for Switch and 3DS, right?
No, I don't think so.
Is it out on other platforms?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it is.
No,
I really don't think
I
it is.
lied. Nope, it's just 3DS and Switch. For some reason, I
Yeah.
thought maybe it was getting like some Xbox love, but
Well, it looks like it should be, like, but whatever. I like it's a Nintendo exclusive, I guess.
yeah, it
but,
works out.
Yeah, we got Shantae as a playable character instead of Jason. You can use Shantae.
Little Shantae.
That's crazy.
Little tiny Shantae.
Yeah, so I haven't played yet, but I made sure to download it because you want to download it now, because in a couple weeks it's gonna cost you $2 to download it. So make sure you download now. I love that idea. I think that's how DLC should always be. DLC should be free for like 2 weeks, because then all the people that bought the game first, like
Yeah,
when
they
you
get
buy, that means when you
rewarded
buy the game,
for being an early
you're
adapter.
gonna have access. Yeah, for being early adopters, you get that for free. I love that, and it gets you back into playing the game.
I'm downloading it
But-
as we speak.
Very good. Now, what I'm really excited for is Shovel Knight is coming to Blaster Master Zero. It's and so here's the thing. So you can only play, like, you still have the Sophia, you're still in the tank, but you can get out and then in the little, and then you'll be, Precious Jason, Precious Shantae, and Precious Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight's gonna be cool.
But also you gotta think about when you go into the caves, then it's like the isometric almost, game where
Yeah, so it's a little more.
where
It's not
highly
just a little
detailed
tiny
and there's
sprite.
Yeah. So you got to think that, like, it's not just it will be like you will use it in more ways than you think. It's not just for when you get out, but like Shovel Knight, like, has the whole digging thing and can do like the stomp, with the shovel, and looks awesome. So I'm excited, and he's gonna be coming out August 3rd.
Yeah, so we're
that's
not
fun.
that far off from that either. Now,
Yeah.
something we've all been waiting for on the edge of our seats. NBA Playground update is finally here. The update that adds online play, which I believe we were told a launch window we would be getting this update. And a staggering 62 days later, we have finally gotten it. Now,
Has it really been 62 days?
see, that's exactly my thoughts. Neil tweeted out, like, it only took 62 days because he reviewed it for the site, and it was a score pending because he didn't want to give a final score before, getting hands-on with the multiplayer. So, yeah, and that was exactly my thought. I was like,
Crazy.
62 days ago? Jesus.
Yeah, but that's been 2 months.
Time flies, man. Time is flying.
What's going on? Yeah.
But yes,
And time can keep on flying.
so we got online play now. So that I believe I saw some impressions where, like, the game is still flawed, but, like, at least now you could play online with friends, and it's it's fun. It has some fun to it, albeit not a perfect game.
You got right, and it's really cool that they offered the Shaq Fu game, and and they followed through. They brought it.
Yeah.
So that is cool,
I think I saw Donald tweet out. He was like, "Finally today, you can purchase Playgrounds without being plagued with a free Shaq Fu."
That's amazing. That's funny. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, whatever. Maybe on a really cheap sale,
Yeah,
I'll pick it up.
I think,
you never know.
Yeah, that would be one if it dropped down to like $5. I'd be in, but yeah, it would
Yep.
take a pretty heavy discount.
Speaking of heavy discounts, we have a Cave Story Plus update, and it has nothing to do with discounts.
At all.
No, but it's really cool. They're going to add in the original graphics in August that you can switch back to the original, which really excites me because I think I like those better.
I always like
Yeah.
in remakes or remasters when they give the option to flip back. I don't know if it's going to be something you pick when you first start a file or when you first start playing, or if it's going to be where you could just press a button and it'll flip between the two. I really, really love when they do that, though. I love being able to see the contrast of what it was and what it is with just a simple click of the button. So I don't think it said exactly how it's going to work, but I will definitely update and check it out when it comes out. I actually finished that game over
Casey
vacation.
on the case.
Yep. Casey on the case of Cave Story.
Case story.
Case.
Plus.
Now. Ooh, Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Ugh. A pop.
A Pepsi.
I owe you a pop.
You owe me a Pepsi.
I ain't buying you a Pepsi.
Whoa! you can take this one.
Why don't I go adopt you a cat, too? Yes, Rhyme has no official release date. And I guess this is news.
Yeah, did you see the whole thing with the Nintendo site?
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to come out in the summer. It came out for other consoles in May. It's supposed to come out for Switch this summer, but now it's been on the site. It's been changed to winter 2017.
Yeah, I guess people are up in arms.
Which technically that would only be like 8 or 9 days of 2017. Just saying.
Yeah.
Winter. It has to, So, but apparently Greybox sent this to Nintendo World Report.
Yeah, I guess we reached out to them, and this was their response back.
Gotcha. They said, Rhyme is in active development for Nintendo Switch and does not have an official release date at this time. We are committed to giving fans a high-quality experience and will share more information with the community through our official Twitter and Facebook when it is available. In other words, I need to tell you something.
Yeah. Send out
and
generic.
This is what I've told you.
Send out generic PR email number 2, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I will not answer any questions. But
well,
whatever.
I hope they figure it out and it comes out sooner rather than later. But you know what? This is one of those games that I'm not dying to play. So when it comes out, is when it comes out, and I'll likely play it then.
Exactly.
But I'm not in any rush.
I got my pre-order from Amazon because I got it like super cheap.
Oh, yep, me too.
Because they had like a weird thing going on for that game.
Yep. Yeah, I think they listed it wrong, and then like they fixed the listing, but then it was giving double discount on the Prime thing.
Yes,
so
and did you get that too?
Yep. Yeah, because it was one of those games like I don't know if I want to buy it for full price, but then it like I think Amazon
was like
down
$24.
Low 20s. So I was like, for
physical
for $20-something dollars, I'm in on that.
Yeah. Cool.
Which actually, I didn't put this as a story, but there was Amazon Prime Day started Monday, and rolled into Tuesday, which is today.
Yeah, Monday night.
But Monday night they had a whole bunch of price errors on all sorts of video games. I think everything. I saw Wario64 tweeted out. He's like, we probably missed out on some really good TV deals, you know what I mean? Because we're all concentrating on video games. But, like, I could have gotten a 60-inch 4K for like $100, but we're like, oh my God, Pikmin!
For $6?
Yeah, I got on Amazon. I got Hey Pikmin for $6, and I got Miitopia for $17. Now, we don't know if they're gonna follow through with these, but I have not gotten any cancellation emails yet, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, and I know that people have gotten theirs shipped. So, I mean, the ones that are already out. Because there's a bunch of other games.
Yeah, I saw someone that was like, change it to one-day shipping. And, like, it might cost you, like, a couple extra dollars, but you're already saving a ton of money, and it gets shipped out quicker, And it's less time for them to fix it. Now...
Right. So, I got Hey Pikmin. I didn't have time. I tried to put Miitopia in my cart, but it didn't go. So they were fixing it by the time.
I got lucky with Miitopia because that's a game I would not buy for full price, but for $17, I will totally check that out. And And what's annoying is I saw the tweets go out first with Ever Oasis, and I was like, oh crap, like for $13 I will buy, like that would be a perfect game to give away because I like it so much, Oh
yeah. And you can buy me a copy.
Yeah. For $13 I probably would have given it to you.
I totally wish I could have.
But the thing was, when I went to check out, it was still like it was like down to it was like $10 off, and I was like, oh well, it's still $30. I'm not gonna buy it. But I didn't realize that all those extra kick-ins came in after you confirmed it. So I was like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had it in my cart twice.
Yeah, well, but dude, pay Pikmin for $6. Oh my goodness.
No, I am so
That is awesome.
like I said, I hope it ships.
Yeah, me too.
But
even if it doesn't, I hope that maybe they send out like a, some sort of.
yeah, I could see like a little
thing.
gift card or something like, oh, we
Yeah,
screwed up.
yeah.
Here's $5 credit or $10 credit.
Sure.
Now,
Anyway.
we're going to get into the block of newly announced games for Switch. I call it the Nindies and Findies new game title corner. It's the adjacent corner. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 was announced for the Switch, coming out September 22nd. And it's actually going to have a 6-player local option as well as motion controls. Now, the motion controls sounded like they might be pretty limited.
But you can do Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much. I think that's where they kick in. Is like when you do something like that.
Is this the game that everyone was like clamoring for to come to Switch?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Remember like that game that everyone says is like amazing, and it's just like the anime, and and they want it to come to Switch, and they're like, hey, if you want it, then like tell us, and then everyone was like retweeting it and stuff.
Yeah, it must be it, because I just typed in Dragon Ball video games, and I'm looking at like it's on the top. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is the most recent, and then Xenoverse was a year before that, and then it gets into like much older games, 2007, 2011. So I'm guessing oh no, maybe Dragon Ball Fighter Z. That's the one. That's the one. That was announced.
Thank you. Yeah, I was like, I didn't think that was it.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been
cool.
a bigger, like, oh my god, yay,
Yeah, that's why I feel like, I was like, I thought I would have heard something. But okay, cool.
You know what? Maybe that's not a bad sign. Maybe if Xenoverse sells well, they might like really make a push to get Fighter Z.
I think Xenoverse was already announced. I think the news is the release date. I think.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah.
But I think this next game is much more exciting. I mean,
do you?
No, yeah, for real.
I mean, like, yeah, I can see it. WWE 2K18 coming to Switch.
October 17th, day and date with PS4 and Xbox One. So I think that's a pretty
that's
big,
cool. Like
pretty big get,
Yeah, it totally is. Like, you're right. Like, that's a third-party game on Switch.
And dude, I mean, I used to like wrestling back in the day, but WWE is still very, very popular. So I think
goodness.
This is huge.
Yeah, probably more than ever.
Now, you can still get the early access if you have pre-orders 4 days early, which is another, like, for some reason, it's like I could see that being a thing for Xbox and PlayStation, and then like, oh, well, sorry, not on Nintendo, but it looks like this is getting like as if, it's everything.
So it's parody.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is really cool. I have no interest in the game, but I have interest in people buying the game. So.
Yeah, I mean, and just for
Cool.
for context, the last WWE game to come out for a Nintendo console was 2K13. So it's been quite, and that was for the Wii. So that it's been quite some time. Right. So it's cool to just see. Like I said, I'm getting used to third parties coming and actually being on Nintendo. Oh, excuse me, Nintendo platforms. So I was just like, oh wow, great, this is awesome.
Awesome. Very cool. Now, this next one we have, next item of news is ARMS. ARMS. Oh, 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 yes. And they're patch 2.0. They're going to introduce Max Brass and the Headlock Scramble, where you get to play as Headlock. My dreams are coming true, Case.
Yeah, it sounds pretty sweet. And now, have you seen... I haven't actually really looked too much into it.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything because I've been super busy. But apparently, I read something where I think they fight for headlock, and then one of the players gets it, and then it's up to the other players to take headlock down. That just sounds so much
rad.
Fun. Now, how it's gonna work? Because I think headlock has like 6 arms, right? So I don't know how you're gonna be able to control, but we'll see. Maybe you have some of the arms are just doing stuff by themselves or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play though. I cannot wait. It'll be super fun.
No, it's gonna be great.
It better show up more than hoops.
Hoops. Did you mention the addition of a new character?
We need to play another hoops. No, I didn't. Well, I did. I said it's going to introduce Max Brass.
Brass, baby.
Yes. Yeah, he's the spoiler. He's the he's in the game already, but he's pretty fabulous. So yeah, I can't wait. That'll be fun too. I still haven't played as all the characters because I'm just trying to get a hold of one character.
Yeah, I've pretty much locked on to Bite and Bark.
Yeah. Him and Springman for me, and I do like Master Mummy too. I like using other characters. Oh, dude, have you tried Mechanica?
Not since very early on. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness! So Jill was playing because we were unlocking our. That's something we need to talk about. Have you tried? It's really weird. Unlocking arms, because when you unlock arms, you only unlock it for the first player.
Yeah, I know, that's annoying.
Now, do you know that you can unlock them for the second player too?
What, do they just need to, like...
You have to make a new account with their thing. Like a new, like when you log into the app, when you log into
Arms.
To Arms, yeah, and like you pick who you're using. So Jill had to pick her thing, and then, but the cool thing is all of the coins that she was getting
now go to her.
Transferred over. They were already there, so she had like 900.
Ooh, baby,
coins.
She probably got tons of arms.
Yeah, so we were doing that, and she got all the, almost got all the arms for Mechanica, and it's definitely worth it to do the 200, do the long ones, for sure. Now, if you do the short ones, like the ones that are, usually you always get one with the fighter that you're using. So that's kind of cool. You probably want to do those for when you're getting down to it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Now, just a real quick rundown of just some other things. I've got the patch notes here. New stage, Sky Arena is now available. The cool. Headlock Scramble we mentioned. 3 new arms have been added. The Nad, the Roaster, that's it, and Kablammer.
Amazing.
Play record has been added to the main menu, which lets you find out which fighters you fight with most frequently. In ranked mode, Snake Park has been removed as a playable stage and replaced with Sky Arena. The max rank achievable...
Wait, that's your thing, right?
What's up?
Oh, in ranked
mode.
Yeah. In ranked mode. Okay, I was going to say, hey, that's the stage you don't like.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I hate that one.
Yeah.
The max rank has been increased to 20, and penalty towards players who disconnect during ranked match gameplay have been increased. And then just some...
I still haven't touched that mode.
Yeah, me either, which is funny. And then online play updates, improving syncing between players so that conditioned of items, arms, and other details will be the same for both players. And in volleyball, an issue has been fixed which prevented players from successfully finishing a match due to the ball not touching the court. So, some updates.
Awesome.
To fix some
things. Sounds like some content and some fixes.
Yeah, it seems like a nice mix. And excited to see what other updates in the future have.
Very cool.
Now, this next piece of news, actually, I just saw literally like 2 seconds before we were going to record. The Nico app was previously teased for Switch, but it is officially announced in... it was announced and launching in Japan soon. I guess it looks like some sort of YouTube-type app, but it shows like some players playing some games, and then they pop this app open, and it's got like tons of videos you can watch, some online videos. So I don't know if Nico is something in Japan, like a YouTube type service, but it seems promising that maybe YouTube app will be coming to us in maybe not too soon,
least
but hopefully
yeah.
it's something that's being worked on.
Yeah, for sure.
And this last little
That's
piece,
cool.
I think, is really cool, and I'm going to let you take it because I know you love it.
Oh yeah, Slime Son, baby. This is a game we played at PAX. It was on like PS4, or maybe it wasn't. I know it was using a PS4 controller. That
It might have
just
been a
what they
PC with
used.
just, yeah.
But I know it was definitely on PC. But it's awesome, really cool, Super Meat Boy like game, and it's coming in August.
Very soon, yes.
So next month. I'm so excited for this. It's really it's a fun platformer, really cool looking. Really glad they're bringing it, and I really, you really can say it was all because of me. So honestly,
He was a really cool dude. I remember when we were talking to him. It seemed like he did
really
value
nice, really
our
nice
opinions
guy.
on the game and
not
all
a
that
huge
stuff.
team. Remember, these are the people that are like making games for fun. So
Yeah, no, I'm definitely super pumped.
they're definitely a Findy.
Yep.
They're a Findy Nindy.
Findy
so.
Nindy coming out in August.
That's right. Well, that'll be it for the news. We're done talking news, and we're gonna take a quick break because that was a lot of news.
Yes.
And eShopness. So
It's funny. I didn't think we'd have a big news week, but then I was like, oh, we need to cover this Splatoon Direct, and
it's like, oh my goodness!
next
it's
thing
a
you know,
huge news
yeah,
week.
next thing you know is jam packed.
But anyway, we're gonna come back with some listener mail, and we're gonna talk about our I demand you segment. It's
We
all
got a
convoluted
bunch of
now,
goodies,
but that's okay.
yeah.
It's supposed to be, and we'll see you on the other side of the break. Also, enjoy the new music. Shut up, Casey.
Alrighty, we are back from listening to that sexy new track by Perry, and we are going to get into a few emails and a few questions from Reddit that we had in the pipeline, and we are going to first get into a very nice email from Jonathan, and I believe Perry's going to take it away.
Yes, Jonathan wrote us in, and really nice email. Thank you for sending those. We love getting emails. I know that whenever we get one, I always send it to Case because I have it on my phone, and he always it always makes him feel, it always makes his day as
Warm
well
and
as
bubbly.
mine. Yep, yeah, exactly. But anyway, Jonathan says, we kind of edited it down so we can discuss what he was saying. But he said he got a Switch with ARMS in Mario Kart 8 over the weekend. That's a good decision right there.
Yes.
And he's talking about Mario Kart 8. He said the auto mode on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a game changer. He said my wife and kids can finally play and not be frustrated. He said this is amazing. Got the wheels for them, and I play with the controller, with the Pro controller. So he got those tiny little adorable Joy-Con wheels.
The baby Wii wheels.
And he said one of my favorite multiplayer games ever. And I totally can see that. And I think that is so cool that I'm so glad that someone is making use of that stupid auto mode.
I tell you what.
It better be working for someone.
I tell you what, when Caitlin hasn't played a ton of Mario Kart, but when she does, she uses the auto mode, and I think it helps too.
Oh yeah.
It's like you said, it's a great way.
Of course.
It's a great way for inexperienced gamers to be able to play and not feel intimidated. Like, oh, I'm just going to run off the edge and be horrible every single time. Like, this is no fun for me. And
exactly.
I think it's great. I just think it's
the
stupid that
only
it's
prob-
automatically
yeah.
on.
Exactly. That's the only problem. It's a great addition. I love everything about it besides the fact that they don't tell you that they put it on.
Yeah,
But,
what a strange decision. Like, even if
Yeah.
it was like a prompt came up and it was like, hey, we generally set the auto drive on, but if you don't want it on, press this button, like press B, or like click over to here and press A, and you'd be like, okay, just give me some sort of
Exactly.
warning.
Yeah, or just take it off.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said, Jonathan continues, said, also played the Snipper Clips demo with his wife, and we were laughing so hard at what we had to say to each other to solve the puzzles. So fun. And then he asked, do you know if it's worth $20 content-wise for just 2 players? And how long did it take to complete all of the 2-player puzzles? So, Casey, I think you have completed all of them. I still have yet to complete all of them. And we've done the 4-player ones. That took like an hour, right?
Yeah, that was definitely more limited than the 2-player mode.
Right, right.
But that was super satisfying.
Yeah, super fun.
I can't remember off the top of my head because it's been a while now. But I'd say it was definitely a quite a few sessions of playing to get through all of the levels. Now, I remember at the end, like, you sort of wish there was another world or two. But, I mean, to me, it was worth the $20 because, you know, Caitlin, my girlfriend, doesn't generally play too many games, and she really enjoyed it. So, to me, it was totally worth the $20. It was great to get to play with her, and like you said, the game is just so kooky that you end up, like, for us, like, oh, like, we would just be yelling cog, cog, and you sort of know, okay, like, okay, we need to get into this formation and snip away. So to me, it was totally worth the $20. I mean, I would have loved to have seen another world, to be honest, like, would have been great, but, you know, I didn't feel cheated or anything by what it had to offer.
Yep, I mean, it's kind of where you're, it's such a beautiful and cute game, and it's funny because it really has that Nintendo charm to it, and yeah, I would agree with everything Casey said, and like the 4-player mode and the sport modes are a bonus too, and you know, it has that detachable Joy-Con, you know, play. I wish it had Pro Controller support. Yeah, and like I said, I talked about before, Death Squared is a really good game to play with 2 players also. So, if I don't know, I feel like you should, but I feel like you should definitely get Snipper Clips as well. So, you know, I think you should get both
games.
You should, yeah, they're both really good. Anyway, the last one. The last thing he said is, I forgot to ask, who is your favorite ARMS character and why?
For me, I started off for Twintel. I always mess up her name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she was the one I first started playing with, and I really enjoyed it. But then I made the switch over to Bark and Bite, and they have been the pair I've been rolling with ever since. I like verticality. In ARMS, like, I like, you know, jumping and having that little extra jump off of Bite is something I've gotten accustomed to now, and you know, like, I've gone and played with some other characters, but I generally end up missing that, you know, jump, and then oh God forbid I'm playing with a Bite and Bark on the other team, I'm trying to jump on his Bite and it won't let me.
And then and then also you get your own Poochie, like,
yeah.
It's so great.
My teammate.
Hey, if I can play with a dog, that's me. That's why Duck Hunt's like my favorite. But yeah, so I've also been using him the most. But that Springman probably actually about the same. And then, like I said, Master Mummy as well. Now when I play Smash, I always go random usually. You know, like, that's how we played normally.
Yeah, generally.
You know, and I love to do that because, you know, they kind of all play the same in a sense, but they're all completely different, you know. But it's kind of different with, you know, it's a different dynamic with ARMS where you can't, like, you really got to know exactly, I don't know, it's hard to say. Like, you kind of find what you like and then you go with that. And, yeah, I haven't been switching as much, but I really want to. And like I said, I tried Mechanica and I was like, destroying because she can hover in the air like she can jump and then jump again and then hover for like 3 seconds. It's amazing. It's like crazy. So what I was trying to get to before is Jill was playing and then she had to go do something, but she was playing on party mode online by herself, and I was playing Fire Emblem, And she was like, "Here, play for me." So I was playing, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, Mechanica's amazing." I was just, I destroyed every single, like I played like 5 games and destroyed everyone. So I gotta try that too. But for now, has to be Bite and Bark because of the Poochie.
Yes. Now, thank you again, Jonathan. That was like I said, he said some awfully kind things and had some great questions. So thanks for writing in. Again, anyone can write in at Talk Nintendo Podcast at NintendoWorldReport.com. Long email, I know. But we've got a couple Reddit questions to field before we sign off today, or before we get into some goodies and then sign off. This one comes from Lasher Defiance, and he asks, when will Nintendo give us another good Metroid game? Metroid fans were completely overlooked in this last console generation. And, I mean, I don't know if you want to field this one. I mean, I've got some thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't completely overlooked because of Nintendo Land, the Metroid game, Samus game. And
we got Federation Force, offer solid offering.
Federation Force. Heck yeah.
If you can get around that, no Samus being in it. I mean, really, no playable Samus.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get spoilers. Sheesh. You get mad at me for Max Brass the other weekend. But, I think you kind of just have to get used to the fact that we're never going to see Metroid ever again. In its true form.
I don't believe that. There will be one day when finally at E3 they announce Prime 4, and it's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
If that does happen, it will be on the E3 where I finally give up and say it's never going to happen, and I truly believe it's not going to happen. That is the E3 where it will happen.
Well, that's because you can never lose hope, Perry. Not in this world.
Well, it's not. I mean, I guess it's hope, but it's just kind of like, oh, I needed to lose hope. I will need to lose hope before Metroid Prime 4 is announced, and that's exactly what might happen.
Time will tell.
Who knows? They might even have a freaking side-scrolling Metroid 3DS game come out. That Metroid Dread or whatever, like they've been talking about all these years.
Let's pump the brakes, Perry.
Yeah, I know exactly.
This dude's asking for 2 Metroid games. We're just trying to get one here.
I know. So, we will see. We shall see.
Now, we've got one more, right?
Yes. Moving to the last listener mail. Occupy Gravel Pit.
What a good name.
Yeah, he says, what is the best 4-player game on a Nintendo system? That is a toughie.
Yeah, loaded question. Now, for me, initially, that jumps off the page. You got to start, to me, N64 is what jumps off for best 4-player multiplayer game, because I'm thinking GoldenEye's got to be up there. I'm thinking Mario Kart. I'm thinking the original Mario parties, Mario Party 1 and 2, 3.
Yeah.
There's just so many games, and then then I'm like, well, maybe what other GameCube was also a predominantly multiplayer game, or it had a lot of prominence in multiplayer. I
know what my pick is.
I think of Crystal Chronicles as being a game that I played, and Smash Bros, which honestly that goes for N64 as well. But to me, Melee is the definitive Smash. When I fell in love with the series. So I try and pan this all out, and there's one game that stands above the rest to me, and it might not be the literal best game, but to me, Gauntlet Legends for N64
is the best 4-player game on a Nintendo system.
Yes. Dude, I think it was just a product of being in the perfect place at the perfect time. Me and my brother's 4.5 years older than I am, and then we had a neighbor who had 2 boys that we were friends with, 1 year older than me, and he was my, who I hung out with, and then there was a brother who was 1 year younger than my brother, so it was the 4 of us would all play, and I remember leveling up to level 99, legitimately, and just playing this game. Oh, God, it is so good, dude.
I've never even heard you talk about it.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Gauntlet Legends, man.
We gotta play, dude. We're gonna play that when you move over here. We will get to level 99.
Dude, that game, it's like an arcade, like, multiplayer game, just, like, killing enemies. So good, dude. So good.
Okay. Wow. Very cool. Well, my favorite 4-player game on a Nintendo system. Are you ready for it? Hands down. Yeah. Hands down. WarioWare Mega Micro Games.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Or maybe whatever. Mega Party Games. I'm sorry. Mega Party. That was the difference. Right? Yes.
With the blue box. That, like, teal blue.
Yes. Unbelievable. Best multiplayer game. And it is really good for 4 players, but it's also good up to 16 players. You can play legitimately with 16 people, and that is some of the best fun I've ever had. But honestly, that was the game that we played so much. We absolutely love that game. There's so many great multiplayer modes in it. We would play all of them every day, it seemed. I had my band. I was in a band in high school, and we were all just best friends. And we would we would practice before school, and spend the night at other people's house and stuff. And anyway, at night we would play this game just all the time, and it's so fun. And I cannot wait to play it with you sometime. It's really fun.
It's funny. I own that game, but I don't have it. I like I said, I swear, there's a box somewhere hidden in my house with a bunch of really good GameCube games, and this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I that's awesome. I bought it on a whim because I loved the cover art and I loved Wario, and I just had to know what this game was. I had no clue what it was, and I remember taking it home and being like, "What is this?" And I never bought games, and I had money for some reason, and I got it, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And we've talked about this before, how it had really cool Game Boy connectivity,
yep,
stuff, and anyway, yes, yep, WarioWare, WarioWare and Gauntlet Legends.
I bet you those 2 games are not too high on other people's best 4-player game of all time lists.
I've heard people talk about Gauntlet Legends. I know that.
Oh.
I know that, but yeah. Anyway,
but maybe not
awesome.
as number 1 though. But
no.
Good questions.
GoldenEye,
good questions
for sure.
though. That's for sure. We always encourage questions, so feel free to, if you want us to talk or address any certain topics or questions, feel free. We always welcome them. Now, before we sign out here, we've got some announcements to make. The first thing, you'd like to take this, I have a feeling, right?
Yes. We are going to be doing the next in our series of I Demand You.
I demand you.
And this is going to be titled We Demand We Backlog Edition. And so We Demand We is when we both play the same game, and we demand each other to play the same game. And Backlog Edition meaning a game that we've had, that we both have, that in our backlog that we haven't played, that we already own. Okay. And we can also. The idea is it's kind of like our version of the retroactive, like from Radio Free Nintendo, and we can get listener participation in this game too. So we can all demand each other things. See,
we demand you.
Oh my goodness!
You see what I did there too?
Oh man. Okay, this is officially called We Demand You Backlog Edition. Casey, that was ingenious. Yes, and the game. I know you guys are like, just tell us the game. What is the game? Well, as Casey was alluding to.
That was a hint.
Yes, it was a Wii U game, and it's a Wii U game I know a lot of us passed over and probably own, and that is Star Fox Guard.
Woo!
Yeah, Star Fox Guard. Yes, so I had the I found this game. I bought it, when it came out too, physical. But I was at like a weird store and they had these sealed editions of Star Fox Guard for like $4 in a pile of random games, and I picked them up and I didn't know why. I was like, these are worth $4. I'll use them sometime. And now I'm gonna use them. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna send these out to some listeners who don't own them, and then they can write in their impressions, and then they can be featured on the show.
Yeah, we're not asking you to write a full review or have to play from beginning to end, but we do ask if you do send us an email. We're going to tell you how to get into the drawing for these 2 copies of Star Fox Guard. But we do ask you, if you do enter, that you are at least going to try it out. Like you said, if you end up playing it for a half hour, just give us write us back an email and just sort of give us what you thought, even from that half hour. We just want to get some people from the community involved, and I think that's not too much to ask for, for a brand new game.
Yeah, and on the other side of the coin, if you own this game, I mean, anyone can write in and tell us impressions of this game. We want everyone to, So, even right now, if you're thinking, I can think of stuff to say about this game right now. I love this game. I 100%ed it. I created all these levels. There you go. And then you can send us an email at talknintendopodcast@nintendoworldreport.com. So now, to be entered into it, you can send us questions. You can send us any email. It doesn't even have to say anything in the message body.
You can attach a screenshot of a day at the carnival, if you'd like.
Oh man, that may or may not.
That automatically gets you one.
or automatically does not get you one. Casey. Now, what you have to do to get entered is you have to put in the subject line. What is it, Case?
Grippies in the house. The body of the email can be anything else, but we want you to send us an email with the topic Grippies in the house. And that, my friends, is going to allude us to the next little announcement we have here. Now, if you remember from our E3 prediction show, the loser had to play Corey is in the house, and Corey is finally in the hizzle in our upcoming segment, which will be next week in I Demand You Lost a Bet edition. Perry is going to give us the rundown of Corey in the house.
Yes, I am.
And I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
I honestly have no idea what this game is. I have no idea. Is it a platformer that I play as Corey? Is it a puzzle game?
You don't get to ask us these questions. You're going to tell us.
I know. That's what I was alluding to. Is it a sports game? Is it a shooter? Who knows? You'll find out next week on the Talk Nintendo podcast.
I cannot wait.
That's right. So, yeah. So I know what you were thinking. Everyone, where's I Demand You? How come we haven't done it? Well, you got it, baby. You got one next week, and you got the announcement of We Demand We.
We Demand You.
So, yeah, We Demand You. There you go. I love how I don't think we've ever had one that had the same name.
Yeah, it's an ever-rotating
I love it.
Title.
I love it. But I guess the original is I Demand You. So.
Alrighty, and on that note, I think we're going to bring it to a close here. Remember, you can check us out on Twitter at TalkNintendoPod. That's TalkNintendoPod. Remember to email us with the subject line Grippies in the House if you'd like a chance to win a copy of Star Fox Guard and participate in our We Demand You Backlog Edition. And I think that's going to be it. We will see you next week, as always,
on the Talk Nintendo podcast.
Team Marina for life. That's her name, right?
In the house.
Marina?
I believe so.
I hope so. Warm and bubbly.
It helps sharpen your strategic, knife.
Yeah, Nindies and Findies Update Corner brought to you by Powerade.
I love it. But I guess the original is I Demand You. So, what?
I'm on the Corey in the House Wikipedia page, and the genres: adventure and stealth. Oh man, I cannot wait.
Dude, I'm excited now.
This is gonna be
That
so
sounds
good.
amazing.